Marilyn Wells, Daniel Irving, and Tyler Smith are calling for accountability as investigations into the cases continue. And Ohio Governor Mike DeWine is criticizing plans to deport Haitian migrants as temporary protected status protections are expired. DeWine says the move could harm Ohio's economy and put families at risk. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
And hear us on WBOK1230.com.
Late nights in New Orleans. Some voices entertain the city. Some voices changing. You already know who on the air tonight. Gerod. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. French Quarter nights with the rain coming down. Whole city talk, but the truth stay underground. Funny how the silence break whenever he speak. Certain conversations never make the TV. Voice through the speakers got the whole city tuned. Higher ups nervous every time he hit the room. Cause he say what the people been feeling for years. Bringing light to the stories they don't want us to hear. From the uptown lights to the night war pain. Every word hit different when it cut through the rain. Everybody know the truth, you never said aloud. Till Gerard hit the airwaves and it shook the whole town. And the streets keep calling through the static in the night. Every word feel different when Gerard go live. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. Streetcars roll while the city stay awake. Everybody got a story, everybody got weight. Funny how the phones go quiet when he name names. Funny how the pressure rise when he shift the conversation. He talks schools, streets, money disappearing. Backdoor deals that the public ain't hearing. Things get buried when the cameras don't roll, but the people tune in cause Gerard let it unfold. From the jazz in the streets to the smoke in the sky. The wall is still fighting, still holding it high. And the city feels seen every time that he speak. Cause the truth hit harder when it finally run deep. Now the whole town riding with the station on loud. Hands high while they sing every word through the crowd. Can you feel the city breathing? Every late night conversation. Through the speakers, through the rain. Ooh, New Orleans, don't sound the same. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. Yeah. You're now rocking with Gerard, the voice they couldn't silence. New Orleans, stand up.
Good afternoon, New Orleans, and welcome to another edition of the Reality Check. I'm attorney Suzette Bagnaris, and my co-host is Gerod Stevens. I'm honored that you've chosen to spend part of your Friday afternoon with us. This is the show where we separate politics from policy, headlines from reality, and emotion from facts. We ask hard questions. We have conversations that others want to shy away from. and we give you information you need to make informed decisions about what's happening in our city, our state, and in our country. We've got a packed show for you today. We will begin with a special interview with the NAACP, discussing the organization's role in society today, the challenges facing the community, the importance of civic engagement, and an upcoming gala celebrating leadership and service. And then we'll break down one of the biggest legal decisions of the week as the Louisiana Supreme Court upheld the law eliminating 3 Orleans Parish Criminal District Court judgeships. What does this decision mean for the independence of our judiciary? And what impact will it have on the administration of justice in New Orleans and for our in our state? I think we'll also discuss the failed recall effort against Baton Rouge Mayor President Sid Edwards, and a bunch of other topics. Are you ready, Gerard? Are you ready to get into it?
I think I'm better than I was yesterday.
Oh, yesterday was just
Can you hear me?
a day. It was a day.
Yeah, you can hear me.
So we're doing better today than we were yesterday. I think that yesterday kind of took us aback.
Took the breath out of everybody yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So
It did. So no, we're doing better today than
yep.
yesterday.
How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking. A very busy day as always. Did an interview today. I think it's airing today at 5 p.m. regarding the role of the grand jury, how grand juries are impaneled, the independence and privacy of a grand jury, and the subpoenas that Liz Muriel has tried to issue with respect to the grand jury process. Also talking about DA Jason Williams and the allegation that he had involvement in that grand jury indictment.
Did you think that he did or no?
I do not think that he did. And what I think that is being misrepresented to the public is that the grand jury does not need to get a direction from the Orleans Parish District Attorney in order to investigate a matter, to deliberate on a matter, and to issue an indictment.
But if you've been listening to us, we've been saying that from the get-go.
We have been, but I think that other media stations have been misrepresenting the fact that on any given Monday, a grand jury can say, hey, this is in the news today, and I think we need to investigate this issue. And they can then sit down and deliberate, call witnesses, review evidence, and they can render an indictment without the DA pointing them in that direction.
They can do it by themselves.
They can do it by themselves.
They don't need a prosecutor.
They do not. And in this particular instance, usually the DA will present the witnesses and the evidence to the grand jury. But in this particular instance, the DA recused himself, and a special prosecutor, Lori White, was the one who presented the witnesses and the evidence to the grand jury. And one of the things I talked about in my interview today is that this is a slippery slope, allowing subpoenas to be issued for the identity of the grand jurors and for information about their deliberative process opens Pandora's box, sends us down a slippery slope where any defendant who has been indicted can then request similar treatment and the ability to issue those kinds of subpoenas. Liz Muriel should not stand above everybody else and have privilege that any other litigant would not be able to have. And I think that that's why justice is supposed to be blind, supposed to be fair. But what is occurring here seems to be anything but fair.
So let me give my little heads up to a lot of folks, and I think a lot of folks are probably going to call in and say the same thing. Out of all the mess that we've seen happen with this ruling for the judges, I want to take time out to thank Judge John Fuller for having the balls, the gumption, the knowledge, the study habits, the fortitude to say, I'm not going to go out like that. And I'm going to do the work to find out and put these people on blast that I ain't no little dumb you know what. And I'm going to make sure that I fight and give myself a fighting chance to say that they could be wrong. Do I think that anybody else could have done it? I think they should have all banded together to try to fight this, and it's ending up being a fight amongst themselves on who's going to run for what seat, who's going to run against this one and who's going to run against that one, which politics can sometimes make your friend become your enemy real quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I'm hoping that in the long run, when these folks that are judges that now have to step out of their regular seats, that you all decide on which seat you're going to run for, if you run at all. And they should get a lesson out of this. And that is the next time something like this happens, because I don't think this is the end of it, do you?
Oh, no, this is the very beginning.
I hope
they
that
feel emboldened.
whether it's the judges or anybody else, that you all have learned from this fight. Because there was only one person that seemed to be fighting to me, and that was John Fuller. That you all step together and put your judicial minds together to make sure that you all fight for each other and not just for yourselves.
I commend John Fuller for filing the lawsuit. It needed to be filed. He has shown once again that he is truly a gentleman and a scholar. Mm-hmm. However, the deck is already stacked when you understand the demographics of the Louisiana Supreme Court. I have been talking about the makeup of the federal court bench and the Louisiana Supreme Court for quite some time, and the difficulty it is, in my opinion, for people of color to sometimes get a fair shake. This ruling of the Louisiana Supreme Court is a 4-3 decision that the legislature had the constitutional authority to eliminate 3 judgeships in Orleans Parish Criminal District Court. That means that judges John Fuller, Simone Levine, and Rhonda Good Douglas will lose their seats on January 1, 2027, when Act 748 takes effect. Why was the vote 4-3? Well, it gets very interesting. The Louisiana Supreme Court currently has 7 justices. The 4-justice majority concluded that the Constitution gives the legislature special authority to organize Orleans Parish courts by law. They relied heavily on population. Their reasoning was essentially this: when Louisiana adopted its Constitution in 1974, New Orleans was dramatically larger than it is today. The city once had over 600,000 residents. Today, it has roughly 362,000. The court concluded that Orleans Parish no longer needs the unique judicial structure it once had. The dissents were written by Chief Justice John Weimer, Justice Piper Griffin, and Justice John Michael Guidry. They dissented. Chief Justice Weimer made what may become the most quoted line in this opinion. He wrote, "The legislature argued Orleans should be, quote, like the rest of the state, period, close quote. But today's decision actually makes Orleans unlike every other parish when it comes to eliminating elected judgeships." That is a very important constitutional argument. The Louisiana Supreme Court is predominantly made up of white conservative justices. There is only one black justice on the Louisiana Supreme Court. Her name is Piper Griffin. So, would you not expect a decision that backs up Jeff Landry, that backs up A.G. Murrell, given the current constitution of the Louisiana Supreme Court? It doesn't surprise me at all. I expected that outcome. Do I agree with the decision of the court? No, I do not. Do I think that it is sound based upon the law? No, I do not. But it's not the first decision of the Louisiana Supreme Court that I have disagreed with. I think John Fuller was on the side of right. And I think in many respects, this branch of government, which is supposed to be independent, has been impacted by politics, which is similar to it mirrors the U.S. Supreme Court and the way they rule and the way their decisions come out. So it shouldn't surprise us, what we are seeing.
Let me make sure we address some of the folks too. We are not talking about the U.S. Supreme Court. We're talking about the Louisiana State Court, correct?
Correct.
When you say there's only one black justice, and that is Piper Griffin.
That is correct.
That is one black justice on the state Supreme Court.
Well, wait. They're telling me that John Michael Guidry, elected in 2024, is an African American justice.
He is?
That's what they're telling me. I have not been before him, so that's what they're telling me. They're telling me there are two African American justices, Justice John Michael Guidry, who's in the dissent, and Justice Piper Griffin. So it's still two out of the 7.
So that was
and there are 2 of the 4, the 2 of the 2 of the 3 that ruled the same way. The 3 dissents are John Michael Guidry, who's African American, Piper Griffin, who is African American, and Justice Weimer.
Okay, my mistake. Let me address this too before we go to break. Because joining us in the studio in just a minute, we're going to have our folks from the NAACP to step in and have some conversation about, issues, of course. But we also want to talk about what's coming up on August the 29th, which to many folks is a Memorial Day to remember Hurricane Katrina. But it's also going to be a great morning that we're going to have our NAACP breakfast, and we want everybody to come out. We'll have them come out in just a minute, but of course we want to talk about and have everybody remembering that on August 1st, now this is going to end up being a interesting conversation. Do you know that folks that are sleeping on the streets in New Orleans starting August 1st,
it's a crime.
It's a misdemeanor crime, and you'll go to jail.
Yeah, I knew that. That was part of what came out of the legislature in the last session. I want to correct something that's online. There's a statement online saying the Louisiana Supreme Court is elected. The composition of the court is a choice of the people. Actually, that's incorrect. In Louisiana, voters do not elect all 7 Louisiana Supreme Court justices. Mm-hmm. Instead, the state is divided into 7 Supreme Court districts, and each justice is elected only by the voters who live in the justice's district. So that's how it works. We can't vote for a justice that's from another district.
Right.
So, no, everybody doesn't get to pick the 7 justices that sit on the Louisiana Supreme Court.
Okay. All right, we'll take the break here. We'll come back, and we'll have our guests to join us in just a minute, y'all. Everybody, hold tight. It is Friday. Yeehaw. Right here at WBOK.
Hey, this is D. Riley from the 90s Hits R&B Jams. Make sure you listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday night from 7 until 9 p.m. I'll be giving you the best R&B jams from the 90s. That's right, all your favorites and more. With me, D. Riley, your host of the 90s Hits, right here on WBOK 1230 AM. Or listen online at WBOK1230.com. WBOK, the station you listen to longer.
Calling all Gerttown community members. Join us Sunday, August 2nd, 1 to 4 p.m. at Xavier University's University Center, 1 Drexel Drive on the 2nd floor. Come enjoy gumbo, desserts, beverages, finger foods, raffles, and activities for the kids. You will also have the opportunity to share your thoughts about food access in Gerttown. We hope to see you there.
We are the rhythm of the streets.
The flavor in every dish.
The story in every song.
We are New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation.
We help artists build the future of New Orleans.
Because when the culture thrives, our people thrive.
Every note, every brushstroke, every dish is a door opening new possibilities for those who carry our traditions forward. And when we open that door, the whole city moves forward. For New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation, culture is our open door.
Protect your community. Build your future. Looking for more than just a job? The Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority East is hiring. Join the Flood Protection Authority on Tuesday, August 4th and Wednesday, August 5th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 6920 Franklin Avenue in New Orleans for a 2-day career fair. Meet hiring managers, interview for over 50 immediate openings, and discover a rewarding career protecting more than 1 million residents across Southeast Louisiana. Bring your resume and come dressed for success. Visit floodauthority.org for more information.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan. A heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creators who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. It is Friday. Welcome to the program here, the reality check. Attorney Suzette Bagnaris, the extraordinary one, is in the building. And we also have some guests. Yeah, we got some guests, so we got to act nice. No, we're not. Let's introduce ourselves. Let's start and go around the table. Introduce yourselves one by one.
My name is Shirley Simon. I am the treasurer for the NAACP New Orleans branch.
Okay.
And the co-chair of our banquet. That's going to be on August 29th.
There we go.
2026 at the Hilton Hotel.
Okay. Hello all. My name is Brenda Jackson, and I serve as the education chair and also as a member at large. And I am a life member of the association, and I've been an active member with the association for about 11 or 12 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hi, my name is Linda Paysant. I'm the secretary of the NAACP. I've been an active member for 12 years, and I am currently a life member.
You're a life member?
Yes.
All right, then. I didn't know that. All y'all life members, though. Huh? I'm just trying to figure out when did it get sexy up in here. It got sexy in here real quick. Hello. I am so-so-and-so. What's your name? What's your name? You're not going to entertain that
I'm
one?
not entertaining you on that front. These ladies are here to promote their
It got
gala,
sexy real quick.
and I am not going to entertain you on that
It just
front.
got sexy up in here just real quick, though. Hello.
For listeners who may not be familiar with the organization, tell us about the mission of the NAACP.
Our mission is to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of rights of all persons and to eliminate racial hatred and racial discrimination.
It seems to be more important now than ever, given everything that we're facing. The NAACP has been around for more than 100 years. Why is its work still important today?
Yes, the NAACP has been around 117 years. Okay, the New Orleans branch started. Actually, we were chartered in 1915. However, we started early. We had petitioned to start with the national office, which was in New York. Mm-hmm. It took so long. So what happened? A few of our people, our folks in New Orleans, decided to go ahead on and start it anyhow. Mm-hmm. So they started in 1911 without a charter, but eventually they became officially chartered in 1915.
Can you tell us a little bit about the important work that the NAACP does in our local community?
Well, we're involved in a lot of different things. We collaborate with the for the voters registration with Power of Coalition in Lower Ninth community, and we're trying to get the vote out, especially this year. This is a very important election year.
Mhm.
So our mission is to make sure that everyone is registered to vote. We're planning to go to the churches and do voters registration for, as well as membership registration,
Mhm.
because we need that as well.
Have you noticed that the if we go back in time, let's just go back in time for a minute, because I can remember here was one of the strongest areas, talking about New Orleans in itself. When I first moved here over 30 some years ago, there were so many different organizations, whether we're talking about the political organizations, Acorn, all these different organizations, including the NAACP, that had these big voter registration drives. So it wasn't just one organization like the NAACP that was saying, let's get out and make sure that you're registered to vote. It looks like, even though that we're out of those 60s, the 1960s, early 70s, it looks like we got to get folks registered to vote again, more so now than we needed back then. Have you noticed?
Yes.
Dr. Jackson, go ahead.
We have definitely noticed that. I mean, the time is now. The time is right. It's been about, the fact that we've been falling behind the 8 ball for quite some time.
Mm.
And it's just so hard. And you want to look at the fact that so many people, so many, especially our people, we just accept things the way they are. We're not as aggressive or assertive as we once were.
Mhm.
Because I think what they're thinking is life is going to go on whether they play a role or not. So they're going to leave it to everybody else, but they're going to talk behind the scenes about what's not happening, but they are not willing to go out and pull the lever
Mhm.
to vote to get somebody in.
Is it depressing, though?
It is very depressing.
Is it depressing, though, that we think we get the word out to everybody, but there's still I guess, an undertone, if I can put it that way, that folks of our hue will start saying, what I'm going to vote for.
Right. Yes. That's
You,
absolutely.
have you noticed that?
Yes. Matter of fact, I was out getting the vote out at one of the Walmarts.
Mhm.
Asked a lady, talked with her, pulled her on the side, and she told me, why should I register? Why should I vote? Nothing's going to change.
See, in the state of Louisiana, if you look at the statistics, we actually have more Democrats than we do Republicans. I think there's over 900,000 Republicans and over 1 million Democrats,
Yes.
whether they're blue dog Democrats or some other form of Democrat. But one of the issues with me is the fact that, are we really giving? Because whether we say, I don't want to be a part of either one of the parties, I'm an independent, whatever. But are we really giving the other side, instead of being a red state? Are we really giving ourselves a chance to see what it would be if we crossed over and got more Democrats, black folks, to get out here and register to vote and voted?
Well, I would say, along with the fact that
Talking to Mike.
along with the fact that the NACP, during these particular times, we actually go out and offer folk the opportunity.
But you can't go to
for a
64
right.
parishes.
No, we cannot.
Because if you are, you're a Wonder Woman. I know you're a Wonder Woman already, but I'm just trying to figure it out. How would we do that? Do we have 64 different branches?
Yes.
In each one of them? Then the collaborative effort of the NAACP in each parish should be what? To get out to vote?
Mm-hmm.
Is that happening?
Somewhat, it is happening, but it's not happening like the way it should happen.
Mhm.
And a lot of that, I really think, because a lot of us, I've been in with the NAACP 31 years, and I'm thankful because I know what happened when I was there.
Mhm.
I was with people like Louis Soniak, people.
Mr. Soniak, God bless his soul.
Yes, with even Sheila, Donatus King,
Mhm.
and all of these people. And we were out there. We were foot soldiers. We marched on Foster, Governor Foster, at his house. Some of our people even rushed into his home.
Mm.
But now I feel that we are becoming more complacent and thinking, we don't have to do that anymore. But that's not true. Because if you look at what we got, not to go with too much with politics, in the governor's office,
right?
And even as far as the White House,
right?
There's a lot of work we need to do. We need people. We need folks to come in. New Orleans, our branch here was one of the largest branches in the state of Louisiana, continuously largest branch. Right now, our numbers are low.
Our numbers are low?
Yes, and our membership is only $30 a year.
So this would probably be the perfect opportunity if I can throw that into the time of us talking about this. But this would probably be the best opportunity for a big recruitment, especially when we see that this is the city that lost $33 million in funding.
Yes.
Because of the governor pulling, because of being mad at whoever, whether it be us or didn't get his way during the election.
Yes.
That he pulled all of this money from this city and then stands up in front of a microphone in front of the world and says, New Orleans ain't special no more. And we are the ones that bring the majority of the money to this state. Because we bring $437 million annually, and that's not including sales tax and all the other taxes, compared to the next one in line that has just $100 million, which is Jefferson Parish. So we're 4 times more important than the average parish. And that doesn't make us any better than anybody else. It doesn't make our blood any richer, but it does make our green a whole lot greener.
That's right.
It's just telling us that we have to really put our boots on the ground.
Right.
We have to. Yeah.
For people who are listening, they're saying they're having trouble hearing the ladies. Let me just give you a little background on the importance of the NAACP. The NAACP isn't simply an organization that responds when there's a crisis. It's an advocacy organization. It's a watchdog. It's an educator. It's a convener. It works with communities, elected officials, businesses, schools, churches, and young people to identify problems, develop solutions, and advocate for policies that promote fairness and equality. The organization serves as a voice for communities that may otherwise feel unheard, and part of their initiatives address education, criminal justice, economic opportunity, health care, environmental concerns, voter rights, and public policy. The NAACP ensures that every person is treated fairly and that government remains accountable to the people that it serves. So in that regard, their mission today is just as important as their mission was in 1909, during a time when African Americans were routinely denied equal protection under the law, the right to vote, equal education opportunities, and equal access to employment and housing. Absolutely. It's an organization that remains very relevant. And even, today, as we have pointed out, given current politics and world affairs, this organization is extremely relevant, and is very relevant in our local community where we are seeing challenges in the issues of education, healthcare, insurance, economic development, criminal justice, voting rights, environmental justice, and workforce development. So, this is an organization that is worthy of our support, and I'm hoping that young people who are listening will understand the relevance, the historical significance, and the today relevance, the right now, this minute relevance of the organization, and support their upcoming gala.
So let's talk about the gala. Who's going to lead that off?
August 29th.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning, because this is not just a gala that everybody going to dress up and do. This is morning time, and it's for everybody to come because you got a very important speaker as well. And the NAACP going to be walking through. If you're not a member, this is a good time, too, for you to become a member, but you got to get your tickets. Come on.
Yes, we're very excited about the upcoming Legacy Breakfast. We're calling it a Legacy Breakfast because we have had 34 presidents of the New Orleans branch.
34.
New Orleans branch is the oldest NAACP in the area. And so with the breakfast, it's going to be held on Saturday, August the 29th, at the Hilton Riverside. And it promises to be a real exciting one, especially exciting. We are looking at more or less the presidents that we have had. As I said, there were 34 of them. But we are especially saluting those who are still alive and with us. Attorney Donatus King and Judge Morris Reed. We're going to highlight those. We do have our sitting president, Ronald Coleman. We were also giving credit, grace, and accolades to him as well. Even though he's not a legacy yet, he's a sitting president. In regards to him, we also need prayers for him because he's going through some medical challenges right now. So the event, again, we're going to have some good food. Our guest speaker.
The menu is off the chain.
Yes. Our
that was important to me.
Keynote speaker is the Honorable Congressman Troy Carter. And we're going to have some of our AXO participants. AXO is a part of the NAACP. It plays a large role with that. We just had our national convention in that was Chicago a couple of weeks ago. And there's always an AXO competition where the students who participate in the AXO New Orleans in Louisiana and other areas, they go and compete nationally. And we were fortunate this year to have 27 participants who either got a gold medal, a bronze medal, a silver medal. 12 of them got the medal, but 27 were in the competition for New Orleans. So that is really exciting. And we're going to have some of those individuals to come and do some entertainment for us at the breakfast.
But one of the things, too, that I think is very important, and I just want to throw this in there, too, and probably putting pressure on everybody, is the fact that I would like to see this become like the biggest recruitment for the NAACP in its history. And the reason why is because we need the NAACP now like we never had it. Every single day, ladies, we sit here and we talk about all the disparities, just as well as the good stuff. But the disparities seem to be overwhelming in our city, what's happening to black folks. And every day, our phone is ringing off the hook saying, who's going to help us? And we sit there and look around. Because we don't really answer, I don't think we really answer that question. And then people have come up with the analogy of we can't really ask anybody to help us. We got to help ourselves. But it sure would feel good to a lot of folks to have an organization that says, I got your back.
Yeah, because NAACP is a voice for the voiceless.
Right.
And so we try to support, help, assist, and give directions to those who are less fortunate and trying to, intervene on behalf of these individuals.
But it sure
I also
would be
want
good to see some steps to be taken forward.
Yes, and the membership is only $30 a year. If you want to become a life member, that's $750.
For life.
For life.
Wow.
For your whole life. But the tickets for the breakfast, they are $100 each, $100. And you can get a table of 10 for, of course, $1,000. We have sponsorships available at levels of $5,000, $3,000, and $2,000.
I got plenty of people that can write them checks.
And the sponsorships,
we need them.
It really celebrates or advertises the particular organizations or businesses who take out these particular sponsorships. We salute them and we put them on blast, so to speak, to highlight the things that they're doing within our community as well.
Where
we
can
have
tickets
ads.
be purchased?
The tickets can be purchased through Eventbrite. They can also be purchased through by mailing in your check or money order to the NAACP office, which is 222 North Roman Street. If you don't want to send your check in or your money order in, and you don't want to deal with Eventbrite, you can call the number, our office number, and we will even bring your ticket, collect your money for any way we need to do to get you to come out and enjoy yourself and support the NAACP New Orleans.
And I got to tell you,
the time is now.
I got to tell you, that guy y'all got that's going to be emceeing this thing, Outstanding. You know who that is, right?
Yes. The MC.
It's gonna be me.
It must be you.
It is.
I can tell it was you just by the way you said it.
Yeah, I'm gonna MC it. I am.
All right.
I was volunteered by Bobby.
You were voluntold.
But see, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, so that's gonna be because we're gonna be there. You know, we're gonna be there. We'll put things together. This has got to be that type of program to show everybody we need you now.
Yes.
We don't need you a week, 2 weeks afterwards. We need you now so that we can start getting stuff together.
And we're very happy to have you, Gerard, too, because we know you're going to bring it.
Because, I volunteer her in a minute. In a minute, I volunteer Dr. Jackson. So, every time. You next. And then, of course, I got you. Got 3 more weeks. Get these tickets. And are we going to have printed tickets, too?
We do.
We have printed tickets?
Right.
Yes, we do have printed tickets, and they are available at request. Or you can call the NAACP branch at 504-434-8965.
Say that again.
504-434-8965.
8965. They can call in and get them today.
And
now they need to get these tickets because this ain't no 800-900 tickets. This is enough tickets that we're gonna hold 300 people.
Yes,
300 people.
300 people, and they
And
probably
we would love
gonna
to
go.
sell out.
They're probably gonna
Yes.
go in the next couple of weeks too. So we got this is a push to get those tickets, and we want them to start them today. And then I'm going to speak up a little bit here and put my foot on the line and let you know that we'll probably end up being a consignment area for you. So that, people that can't do the electronic thing or can't get around town, they know where we located. So they probably could stop by here and pick up tickets too. Okay?
Fantastic.
That's good.
So
And
just to recap,
Yeah.
the NAACP's Freedom Fund Gala will be held on Saturday, August 29th at the Hilton New Orleans Riverside. This year's gala will honor 3 outstanding leaders who have made significant contributions to our community: Donatus King, Judge Morris Reed, and Ronald Coleman, who is the current NAACP president. The evening's keynote speaker will be Congressman Troy. The morning's keynote speaker will be Congressman Troy Carter. And if you'd like to attend, tickets are available right now through Eventbrite. If you're looking for another way to support the NAACP, consider becoming a member. Annual memberships are just $30. Life memberships are $750. Sponsorship opportunities are available for businesses, organizations, and individuals who want to support the NAACP's mission and community programs. And for additional information or to purchase tickets, you can also contact the NAACP at 222 North Roman Street in New Orleans or call 504-434-8965.
Repeat that number again.
504-434-8965. We encourage everyone to come out to celebrate these outstanding honorees and the important work that's being performed by the NAACP on a national and local level, and invest in an organization that has spent more than a century advancing civil rights, promoting opportunity, and strengthening our communities.
Yep. Dr. Jackson?
Just want to add, the event is at 8:30 a.m., again, at the Hilton Riverside. And there are also ads. If you'd like to take on an ad, we have the full page ad, half page, and
quarter page.
A quarter of a page.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to do an ad, then we have to send your ad to us. You would send it to Brenda Jackson 24 at gmail.com.
So more than likely, they can call that number and have that
Yes, so they
conversation
can
too.
get any additional information, give them.
Folks get funny when you start talking about their money. So they can call you and talk personally to you
their
about
money.
it as well.
It's their money, but we're looking at the cause.
Yeah.
It's for the cause. You're going to have some good entertainment. You're going to have a good breakfast, and you also will be supporting the NAACP New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And people are always asking us,
Where's
how do we
NAACP?
support the Black agenda?
Here it is.
How can we, get involved? This is a great way to support the Black agenda and get involved.
Now, this is going to be a month away. We're talking about right now the 29th of August. So we're just about a month away. I want you ladies to make a commitment to come back and have another conversation with us. I told y'all on the call. Did I or did I not? Dr. Jackson?
Yes, you did, Mr.
Okay,
MC.
all right. I'm just So y'all going to come back and have some more conversation with us too?
You're helping us, we helping you.
Absolutely. Yes. So I'm looking forward to the conversation because we'll talk about some other stuff then too. Okay. Ms. Simon?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity.
Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate it too. And we'll have some more conversation next week about where we're going next and what we're going to do. And people that want these tickets that don't want to, do the electronic thing, I'm going to have some for the general manager to put in his office and lock them up so we can sell them. Okay?
That sounds good.
Ladies, thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Very good. All right, more coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Hey New Orleans, it's Doc Griggs. I'm back here at WBOK. Join us on Thursdays from 12 to 1 p.m. for Doc Talk and Get Checked, Get Fit, Get Moving, where you'll learn everything to keep you and your family healthy. Doc Talking here on WBOK, 12:30 a.m. It's a new day at WBOK.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Did you hear the news? Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom has a new time. Catch us now every Wednesday at noon. Same program, same great conversations. Just a new time. So catch Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom this Wednesday and every Wednesday only on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
From the East Bank to the West Bank, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
And we're back. It's WBOK 1230 AM. The talk line is 504-582-9422. I hope you all are taking notes. I'm going to post into the Facebook feed for the station all of the information with regard to the NAACP's upcoming gala so that all of you can start preparing to attend that gala. So, we were talking about the Supreme Court's decision that came down today. The Louisiana Supreme Court has ruled 4-3 that the legislature had the constitutional authority to eliminate the 3 judgeships in Orleans Parish Criminal District Court. That means that Judges John Fuller, Simone Levine, and Rhonda Good Douglas will lose their seats on January 1st, 2027, when Act 748 takes effect. So these 3 people will be running for seats, okay? Pay attention to their upcoming fundraisers, and let's support your favorite candidates. This was not a vote on whether these 3 judges were doing a great job. The Supreme Court never evaluated their performance on the bench. The court was asked one legal question. Did the legislature have constitutional authority to abolish these judicial offices? And the majority of the Supreme Court answered yes. The dissent answered no. The vote was 4-3, and this is where it gets interesting. The Louisiana Supreme Court currently has 7 justices. 2 are black. The 4-justice majority concluded that the Louisiana Constitution gives the legislature special authority to organize Orleans Parish courts by operation of law. They also heavily relied upon population decline, saying that when Louisiana adopted its constitution in 1974, New Orleans was dramatically larger than it is today. The city had over 600,000 residents, and today it roughly has 362,000. So the court concluded that Orleans Parish no longer needs the unique judicial structure that it once had. The dissent was written by Justice John Weimer, Justice Piper Griffin, Justice John Michael Guidry, as previously stated. Justice Piper Griffin and Justice John Michael Guidry all dissented, and Justice Piper Griffin and Justice Michael Guidry are the African-American justices. Chief Justice Weimer made what may become the most quoted line in the opinion, saying that the legislature argued Orleans should be, quote unquote, like the rest of the state. But today's decision actually makes Orleans unlike every parish when it comes to the legislature being able to eliminate our judgeships. That is an important constitutional argument. We'll see if anybody brings it to the United States Supreme Court, which could be the next stop. Many people don't realize that judges have philosophies just like legislators. And the Louisiana Supreme Court elections are technically nonpartisan, but most justices are publicly identified with either conservative or more liberal judicial philosophies based upon their records, their endorsements, and their jurisprudence based on their past history if they had previously served as a judge on a district court or an appellate court. So the 4-justice majority is viewed as the court's more conservative bloc here in Louisiana, while Chief Justice Weimer, Justice Griffin, and Justice Guidry formed the dissent in this case. This same 4-3 alignment has continued to be a pattern in Louisiana Supreme Court decisions. In several high-profile recent cases involving Orleans Parish governmental offices, the court is continuing to come down with this 4-3 alignment. The decision also has another dimension. The majority consists largely of judges elected from districts outside of Orleans Parish. I think that's very important for you to know, that the majority opinion in this case impacting Orleans Parish is from justices who do not live in Orleans Parish. The dissent included Chief Justice John Weimer, Justice Piper Griffin, Justice Michael Guidry, and Justice Griffin is the only Black woman who represents a district that includes Orleans Parish. Justice Guidry also represents a district with significant minority populations in southeast Louisiana. That doesn't mean they always rule based on race or demographics, but I think it's an important thing to know who's making these decisions. So what does this mean politically? Well, it means the legislature has just received an enormous amount of validation from our state's highest court, the Louisiana Supreme Court. The court essentially said the legislature can restructure the Orleans Parish judiciary as it sees fit whenever it wants to. Let me play that back for you. The court has just given a stamp of approval to the legislature to restructure Orleans Parish's judiciary as it sees fit by operation of law. That is a tremendous amount of power. So the judicial branch has just written itself off and given carte blanche to the legislative branch to control the judiciary in Orleans Parish. This comes only weeks after the court upheld legislation abolishing the elected criminal district court clerk's office held by Calvin Duncan. Also, with the 4-3 vote, with the same dissenters. So I need you to start seeing patterns. As lawyers, we look at the demographics of the court, the politics of the court, how the court rules consistently, how it's broken down consistently. You'll see patterns at the U.S. Supreme Court. There are patterns with the Louisiana Supreme Court. And there are also patterns with regard to what the topic is that goes before the court. You can pretty much predict how they're going to rule. So many observers see a pattern. The legislature has increasingly sought to reshape Orleans Parish governmental institutions, and the Louisiana Supreme Court is now putting its stamp of approval on the legislature doing so. So what happens to these judges? Well, Judge John Fuller was just elected. The voters chose him. Now the office disappears before he serves a full term. Judges Simone Levine and Rhonda Good Douglas will likewise leave the bench because their judicial divisions will no longer exist. This decision is not disciplinary. I want to make that very clear. It is not a reflection upon their performance. It is strictly structural. These judges are not being removed for any sort of misconduct. So I want to just put that out there because I know that spin is going to start coming. And their offices are simply being eliminated by operation of law. What happens to their cases? Well, the work doesn't disappear. Those criminal dockets will have to be reassigned among the remaining judges, which means more work for them. That creates practical questions. Will the remaining judges inherit larger caseloads? Yes, they will. Will criminal cases move more slowly? Yes, they will. Will defendants wait longer to get their day in court? Yes, they will. And those issues will continue even after January 1. The larger question for me, this case really asks something much bigger. Who decides how justice is administered? The voters or the legislature? Well, the Supreme Court has now answered. The legislature has broad constitutional authority to restructure Orleans Parish courts. Whether that's good policy is a question for the people. Whether it's constitutional has now been answered for now, unless they appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court, where I don't know that they get a different decision because the Supreme Court is also majority conservative and majority white. And that's why this decision will be remembered as one of the most consequential Louisiana judicial opinions of 2026. So, I don't know if you have any questions, concerns, or things you want to say about it. I'm going to go to line 1. Let's hear from Shed. What's up? What you talking about?
Hello, happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. What do you think about all of this?
If I'm not mistaken, and you're the legal-minded person out of the two of us, Judge Fuller, his case was based on not whether the legislature had the right to vote, but based on the numbers that the legislators needed for something to be enacted.
Based upon the Louisiana Constitution of 1974, which is very clear. So instead of, in my opinion, looking at the actual language and legislative intent of the Louisiana Constitution of 1974 and the plain language in the document, which is what the court is supposed to consider. The court considered outside factors such as population decline and really gave an opinion based upon whether the Constitution of 1974 is still relevant.
Okay, so this is what I gather. So pretty much they use their power to their advantage, and they did not pay attention to the Constitution, which clearly states there's a certain amount of number of representatives in the House and senators in the Senate that are supposed to be present to vote in order for something like this to happen.
Yes, Judge Fuller argued that Article 5, Section 15 of the Louisiana Constitution requires a 2/3 vote of the elected members of both the House and Senate whenever the legislature changes the number of judges in a judicial district. According to Judge Fuller, Act 748 reduced the number of Orleans Parish criminal judges from 12 to 9. The bill passed by a simple majority, not the constitutionally required 2/3 vote. Therefore, the portions of Act 748 eliminating the judgeships were never validly enacted and were unconstitutional. The Fuller's lawsuit pointed out that the final legislative votes were 62 in favor and 25 votes, 62 votes in the House in favor, and there were 70 that should have been required, and 25 votes in the Senate, and he argued that 26 were required. Look, this is a plain language of the Louisiana Constitution argument. There was no dispute that he was correct. They should have applied the plain language of the Constitution to the facts of the case, but instead they went afield of that, far afield of that, and started talking about policy considerations and decline in population.
Okay, so Counselor, can we consider that as intimidation? Now, and this is where I'm going. This is why, in my opinion, our city leaders should not have dropped the charges against the state attorney general. As we know, in Caddo Parish, she tried to bulldog them, and they won, and she was ordered to pay $245,000 in court fees and in attorney fees. I don't get it. These folk don't like us, and the only choice you have is to fight. So to Judge Fuller, thank you for standing up. We need leadership to stand up. And Counselor, right quickly, with a domestic violence situation, at what point before the police issue out an arrest warrant do they give both parties due process? Because a woman called the police on a guy trying to take delivery of their child. He left. Now he has a warrant out for his arrest for domestic violence and cruelty to a child, or child endangerment, excuse me.
Well, if I were advising that man, if he believes the allegation to be false, he should file a police report for filing a false police report, which is a crime. And then the issue will go before the issue will go before the judge presiding over that domestic case. But if he believes that false allegations are in a police report, he should file a report about making a false police report, which in and of itself is a crime.
And I'm going to hang up, but at what point, and I'm speaking from experience because in 2018, this happened to me. At what point does the New Orleans Police Department makes the decision to do an investigation on both parties before issuing out an arrest warrant based on one-sided, the one-sided story? And I'll hang up and listen. And I did give his mother your law firm's number. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Let me take a break right here. We'll come right back. We have a number of callers on the line. I will address Cedric's question as soon as we come back.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Southwest Airlines is facing boycott calls after a traveler was arrested by immigration agents at Denver International Airport. Ira Melman with the Federation for American Immigration Reform.
The administration is making it clear if you overstay your visa, you are going to be subject to enforcement just as somebody who crossed the border illegally.
The airline says the federal authorities already have access to passenger information through TSA screening. High blood pressure during pregnancy is rising sharply in Georgia, with new CDC data showing cases of gestational hypertension have increased 77% over the past 8 years. Health experts warn the trend is especially concerning as parts of the state continue to face severe shortages of maternal health specialists. And the American Red Cross has declared a national blood supply crisis as donations fall to a 4-year summer low. Officials say supplies of type O positive blood are critically low and are urging eligible donors to give. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
And we're back. I want to address Cedric's question first. The New Orleans Police Department has a detailed policy governing the way that officers respond to domestic violence calls. While every situation is fact-specific, the general approach is designed to prioritize victim safety, preserve evidence, and enforce Louisiana law. So the policy is that domestic violence calls are treated as high priority calls for service because they have the potential to escalate quickly. Upon arrival, officers are supposed to separate the parties, secure the scene, determine whether anyone needs emergency medical treatment, ensure there are no immediate threats, including firearms or other weapons. And then when they begin their investigation, it's supposed to be an independent investigation rather than relying solely on the wishes of either party. The investigation is supposed to include interviewing the victim separately, interviewing the accused separately, speaking with witnesses, including children when age appropriate, photographing injuries and property damage, documenting the scene, collecting physical evidence, reviewing 911 recordings, body-worn camera footage, and prior incident history. The central question is whether the officers have probable cause to believe a crime has occurred. And if probable cause exists, Louisiana law generally favors an arrest in domestic abuse cases involving battery and certain other offenses. That's pretty much what they do here. And then from there, the issue is referred to the district attorney. Once the investigation is complete, reports and evidence are forwarded to the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office, which determines whether formal criminal charges will be prosecuted. Due process requires that an accused person is not entitled to a trial before being arrested if officers have probable cause, but due process occurs throughout the criminal justice system in the process because there is an initial appearance before a judge, the appointment of counsel, if applicable, bail determinations, discovery, motion practice, trials, and appeals are available. So that's the short answer to what you were asking me about what the procedure is supposed to be and when due process does occur in a domestic violence situation. Now, getting back to our topic, I just want to say Judge John Fuller's lawsuit, I think, was necessary. I think it's important to fight the good fight, even if you know the chips are stacked against you. He knew what the makeup of the Louisiana Supreme Court was when he filed that lawsuit. But sometimes you got to stand your ground. And in my view, it was a tremendous mistake for our city officials to back down from the bully in Baton Rouge. When you retreat in the face of political pressure, you don't just lose one battle, you risk encouraging more of the same behavior. If you genuinely believe the legislature exceeded its constitutional authority, you make that argument forcefully and you let the courts decide on the merits. But you're also impacting the court of public opinion just sometimes by filing the lawsuit. I think everybody got, all the voters got John Fuller's point. Now, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose at the Supreme Court, but the constitutional principles are worth defending. Now, with that said, let's go to line 2. Let's talk to Ryan. Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I am doing well. I am disappointed in our Louisiana Supreme Court, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think, like you said, and let's talk numbers because many of them are not from Orleans or even the area. And I think it's important to note that based on one of their outside arguments that with the population decline factor, we are surrounded by some of the most populated parishes in Louisiana because of due to our economic activity, recreational, nightlife. Those judges are dealing with a whole lot more people in caseload of criminals that are charged folks that are not from Orleans Parish because people leave don't mean they don't come back to play. So, I think that's worth noting that there's a huge hole in that argument easily and I'd be curious to know how many inmates in Orleans Parish are actually from this parish, because I think that, unless they're extradited, there's quite a few from Jeff Parish, St. Tammany, all over Baton Rouge that are incarcerated at that point here in New Orleans. So anyway, I think that's a detail worth noting, that the population decline doesn't necessarily mean there's a decline in crime. So
I think you're right on with that. And I think to a certain extent, they are impacting people they didn't intend to impact. But I guess they'll consider them casualties of the war. I don't think that most people realize that only 3 out of the 7 Louisiana Supreme Court justices represent districts that include at least a part of Orleans Parish. Justice Piper Griffin is the 7th Supreme Court district, and that includes portions of Orleans Parish. Chief Justice John Weimer is the 6th Supreme Court district, which includes portions of Orleans, Jefferson, Plaquemine, St. Charles, St. James, St. John the Baptist, Ascension, Assumption, and East Baton Rouge. And also the temporary judge, Allison Penzato, who's sitting there temporarily since Justice William Crane moved to the federal court bench, also includes portions of Orleans Parish. So only 3 of them had an interest related to Orleans Parish or a constituency related to Orleans Parish. And it's interesting that the vote came down 4-3.
Very much so. Very much so. Well, I'll make time for other people, but love y'all. Y'all take it easy. Have a great weekend.
Thank you for calling. I'd like to say, as a student of the law and someone who's been practicing law for 34 years, almost 35 in October, that justice is blind. But justice is not blind, y'all. Justice sometimes wants to be blind, because clearly this ruling today was blind to what the Louisiana Constitution of 1974 actually said. Any other time you'll see a decision where the Louisiana Supreme Court will say we are bound to follow the plain language of the Constitution. Just about every opinion you see come out of the Louisiana Supreme Court dealing with the Louisiana Constitution has those words. We are bound to adhere to the plain language of the Constitution. In this particular instance, they ignored the plain language of the Constitution, and instead they made a complete policy argument. Very interesting. What does that mean going forward? I think we'll see the legislature in the next term take more shots at the Orleans Parish judiciary and elected officials. And then we will see the Supreme Court uphold those decisions. That's where we are. That's where we find ourselves. So with that, I want to pivot to someone who is in the crosshairs of the governor, of the attorney general, and may be on the chopping block at the legislature in the upcoming session, because they're already saying that dealing with the mayor, the city council, and D.A. Williams may come before the legislature in the next legislative session. which I find very interesting. There is an article, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, where Jason Williams is addressing head on this escalating conflict between Orleans Parish officials, including himself and state leaders. Williams is essentially saying that he does not want the political battle to continue. His comments come after Attorney General Liz Muriel alleged that the Orleans Parish prosecutor improperly influenced the grand jury to indict her before those charges were ultimately dismissed. Now, is it a shift in strategy? Yeah, I think it is. I think this is a shift in strategy on the part of Jason Williams. For him to say, I don't want to fight, suggests that he may be attempting to lower the temperature after an exceptionally public dispute between City Hall, the District Attorney's Office, the Attorney General, and Governor Jeff Landry. I think it's a good move on the part of Jason because he's trying to CYA. He's trying to protect his seat. He's trying to protect his livelihood because these folks are even trying to seize his law license, which I find very, very interesting, that threat. I think he needs to move very cautiously, and I think that his public statement today is the first step in him trying to move more cautiously and trying to get public opinion on his side, because he knows he may need the public to support him in his ongoing battle with the state if they don't let up. Even if Williams is trying to de-escalate politically, there are still some unanswered legal questions about what occurred during the grand jury proceedings and whether any investigation into the process is warranted. But in my opinion, I think that the AG and the governor are overstepping their role and trying to overstep the grand jury proceeding.
I think this is all pomp and circumstance.
Well, I said today in my television interview, I thought it was political theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that.
And we have seen it played out time and time again. And when the facts come out, those people that are hollering the most end up usually being the ones they rule against. And I mean, if you look at some of and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna have Nyron to play it. But if you take a look at the press conferences, they look like they are ready to just shoot somebody.
Oh, they're off the chain. They are off the chain. I mean, when the hatred is seeping through the television screen when you see Liz Muriel and Jeff Landry talk about politicians in New Orleans right now. And I think they are bullying our politicians. And I think they're getting assistance from D.C. to bully our politicians. And I think our politicians are indeed caving under the pressure.
So let me put this into the quagmire of all this crap that is going on from both sides. Because I'm not taking a side. I'm looking at it and saying both of them got a whole bunch of crap coming from the sides, especially the red bottoms. Because the political theater that is going on right now is not only from them coming from the state, but they're trying to throw us in it by saying that, this radio station is trying to make it black and white thing. Well, tell me there, mister, when has it not been a black and white thing?
It is clearly a black and white thing. If you don't want to believe that there is an attack upon black people in New Orleans, look at the new recruit class for NOPD. All white.
Look at the function that's coming up in September, where they made an AI photo with all the former NOPD officers, older NOPD officers, probably in their 50s, 60s, or 70s. No blacks.
But for a new incoming class
right
in the city of New Orleans to be all white, you want to tell me Granny don't have an agenda?
Right. Yep. There are none.
They're removing the black chief of the Sewage and Water Board, removing the black chief of the levee district, removing the black officers who are seasoned on NOPD who are making over $200,000 a year, bringing in an all-white recruit class, getting rid of 3 black judges, getting rid of one of the black clerks. You don't think that we have a right to scream racism?
Absolutely. All right, we'll take a break here. We'll come back. We'll have some more conversation with you about this and open up the telephone lines again, 504-582-9422, y'all. Get them coming in. More coming up next, right here on WBOK.
It's off the top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
In nearly 50 years of covering Louisiana's justice system, I have never witnessed the indictment of a sitting state attorney general by an Orleans Parish grand jury or by a grand jury in any other Louisiana parish. That was big news. Then came even bigger news. All of the charges were dropped by the special prosecutor assigned to oversee the case. Former Judge Lori White, the special prosecutor, says she dropped the indictment against State Attorney General Liz Murrill because New Orleans Mayor Helena Moreno and other city officials urged her to do so to ease tensions between the city and state. The mayor offered a peace sign asking Governor Jeff Landry to meet so they could resolve their differences. Landry said no, not until the city gets things in order. Requesting that the AG charges be dropped was another peace sign. Landry still said no, thank you. Landry and Murrill have no interest in being friends with New Orleans leaders. I understand not wanting to be friends with people who you think want you to be put behind bars for 80 years. The circumstances and the players are different, but what we have here is the latest chapter in a long history of the bruising political wars between the state and the city. It's not good for the city or the state. Who knows how this latest drama will play out? What matters is whether this legal grudge match helps citizens who want leaders who will improve their quality of life. Now, this unfortunate drama is damaging our state, our city, our judiciary, and our chances for more economic development. It boils down to this. It's a cartoon with characters bashing each other, and it's not funny. We deserve better. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
New Orleans never sleeps, and neither does WBOK. Now, every voice, every moment, and every show is in your pocket. Search WBOK Media wherever you get podcasts. Download, share, rate us 5 stars. Because when you support us, you amplify Black voices and the New Orleans culture.
Calling all Gerttown community members. Join us Sunday, August 2nd, 1 to 4 p.m. at Xavier University's University Center, 1 Drexel Drive on the 2nd floor. Come enjoy gumbo, desserts, beverages, finger foods, raffles, and activities for the kids. You will also have the opportunity to share your thoughts about food access in Gerttown. We hope to see you there.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Greetings and salutations. I am Elwood B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. I'm tired. You got me running.
I don't have you doing nothing.
No,
Your people got you running.
You got me running today, man.
Yeah.
Good. Hoping everybody's ready for the weekend. Y'all be careful out there with all this heat, if whatever you're getting ready to do. But it's an interesting conversation. We were listening to it standing out there talking with the NAACP folks, NAACP folks, that Black leadership seems to always struggle. Has there ever been a time that you can think in your time as an independent leader that we've never been under some type of attack?
We're always under attack when we're making strides. If we're not making strides and we're just going along to get along, then they like us. But when we are making strides for our community and speaking up for our community, then it becomes a problem. I mean, one of the most frustrating dynamics in America is that when people of color raise legitimate concerns about discrimination, the conversation then shifts to somebody complaining that we're playing the race card. Sometimes accusations of racism are unfounded. I give them that. But sometimes they're well supported by history, by facts, and by evidence. And we shouldn't dismiss a claim of racism simply because it makes white people uncomfortable. Every allegation of racism deserves to be examined on its merits. And there are people who, when their actions are questioned as being racist, they immediately accuse black people of playing the race card rather than addressing the underlying issue. That is spin, my brother.
So one of the things too that I brought it, I said something to you about it, but I haven't talked to you about it in, I guess, in length. But I'm going to do this story on Monday because I'm doing a whole bunch of investigation and I want to tip my hat. But one of the things too that I'm noticing is I think it's been called the new renaissance of putting together things for Canal Street, but also saying it's a new renaissance and a new era that we're going to do this economic development project or projects in New Orleans East. And everybody was saying, I had a conversation with Deborah Chapman as well as some other folks and saying, it's not like we haven't been saying that. I know all of us said the same thing. But one of the things that bothered me, and I was having a conversation with one of my, I would say, close confidants for information. She was saying one thing that we can definitely look at in this new renaissance of, I guess, redeveloping different places is, how come New Orleans East, even though that there are great homes, brick and mortar out there, how come the apartment complexes that I would say a majority of folks may be living in that look like you and I, how come there are no 5-star, 4-star, and maybe even 3-star apartment complexes in New Orleans East? None are worth giving a whole bunch of effort to, and they're deteriorating, and nobody in charge is doing anything to get these folks to fix up their property. How can you tell me that you're going to do a renaissance of development if we're going to make this place look brand spanking new, and the places that the people are living in are trash?
I have some insider information on that. You know, I handled that case with the 5 apartment complexes that were owned by the slumlord out of New York, who is now serving time in federal prison in New Jersey for mortgage fraud. The city of New Orleans allows these out-of-town companies, slumlords, to buy property in New Orleans for $1. So $1. Some of the apartment complexes in New Orleans East were purchased by this slumlord out of New York for $1. The reason why they're purchasing these properties is for a tax write-off for their investment firm. Then the city of New Orleans does not have an appropriate enforcement mechanism when it comes to dealing with these slum landlords. To look at a multi-million-dollar company, in the instance of this particular man, he had like a $83 million portfolio, and fine him $50,000 for not having any working smoke detectors.
That's a pea in a bucket.
That is nothing to him. It is a slap on the wrist. He'd rather pay the $50,000 as a cost of doing business than to upgrade and address the code violations system-wide. So the city of New Orleans is giving minuscule fines for significant code violations and blight to these out-of-town companies that are purchasing this property. The city of New Orleans needs to change its model. It needs, and I've discussed this with Oliver when Oliver was on the city council. The buyers need to agree to invest millions of dollars in rehabilitation and redevelopment in order to get those properties.
Because there is not one
that
doesn't need it.
No, the cities need to hold them accountable and have inspectors going out there on a monthly basis issuing fines that make it hurt. And they're not doing that. And they need to collect upon those fines. And they can withdraw their occupational license to do business, okay, if they're not in compliance with the city's building codes. They're not doing that. Also, Hano, you a joke. Those properties out in New Orleans East that I was representing people for that had mold throughout the apartment complexes and literal feces running down the walls into first floor apartments when second floor apartments flushed the toilet.
And the lady
Hano was passing them on inspection.
And the lady that wakes up in the morning and looks up and there's a possum in her bed.
Snakes, alligators in the lagoon. I mean, when I tell you, walking through those 5 apartment complexes in New Orleans East, in that case, I hired a mold remediation company out of Atlanta, a testing company out of Atlanta to come here and do a system-wide testing of all of these units. And when I tell you they found high elevated mold throughout the complex and recommended that all of the complexes be leveled to the ground and start over.
Yep.
But yet Hano is coming out there on inspections and passing these properties. Is Hano getting a cut? I mean, what is going on here? It's reprehensible. There is no way in hell any of those units should have passed Hano inspection. For Hano to have Section 8 tenants living in third world conditions and while beautifying your office space on Poydras so that you can have a cushy office, we don't need a Hano. They need to seize it. They need to take it over. I don't know why we have one if they're not going to do their job.
So one of the things that I started having conversations with was a couple of folks that said you will need to look at this place and see for yourself. Because I didn't think it was going to get any worse than what we had been talking about in previous times. But now I'm getting the calls from the different tenants of another complex. And more than likely, I'm going to make sure that they call in Monday so that we can talk about it. Because we haven't talked about this one before. But we're going to talk about it on Monday. So I need everybody to be prepared that on Monday, we're going to hear another one. And it ain't cute. I want to know why. If we're going to do this renaissance of New Orleans East, shouldn't we start at home or everybody's home? Beautification projects for these tenants in these apartment complexes that say, hey, this place is slumlordish, then we need to do something about them.
I turned over all of my environmental inspection reports to the then mayor and city council. Okay? Now, I'm looking online. Somebody's saying Helena and Jason just got passed a statewide referendum that takes away tax exemptions for properties in squalor. They did that after the fact, after my inspections were produced, baby. Okay? After I gave them the evidence with regard to what was going on out there, because that's new. I'm telling you, I gave them all my environmental inspections, sent them the recommendations from the experts that those buildings should be leveled and no one should be living there, and told them that they needed to stop giving these people the operational licenses to operate these slums in New Orleans East. Now, in response to that, what I was told by the then city council and mayor, Cantrell, but Jason and Helena were on the city council, I was told, where would you have us to put the people,
where do you want to put
Suzette?
them? Where do you want to put them? Yeah.
Where would you have us to put the people? Well, that's a great point. Well, I think at that point, you need to reach out to HUD and tell HUD, we have a housing crisis. We have housing stock that does not meet the federal standards of being clean, sanitary, and livable. And HUD then would have to give these people a voucher to be somewhere else while the renovation of their particular apartment complex is going on.
Mm-hmm.
HUD could do that building by building, complex by complex. It doesn't have to all be done at once, but there is a way to get it done.
But
So
file something.
File something, do something.
Right.
Okay, because you are on notice. I gave them all that information in 2024 when handling the case with respect to the 5 apartment complexes that I was handling. So let's see what they're going to do. They're well aware of the problem, but issuing a $50,000 fine to a company worth $83 million, that's a joke.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could say the same on the West Bank in Algiers. We start looking at some of the folks and some of the apartment complexes, one of which we just said, oh, we're going to tear it down. We have not torn that place down yet and begun. The apartment complex that goes down the street, what is that, West Point or whatever that is?
Now, that's a legitimate issue, saying we don't have anywhere to put these people.
But these people ain't even in this place on the West Bank.
Right.
This is abandoned.
Right. So it seems to me that Hano needs to stop, one, passing units that are not livable.
Mm-hmm.
They need to ask HUD to come in and address the fact that these units are not meeting the HUD standard for Section 8. And they need to do some sort of request for appropriation from the federal government to provide temporary housing vouchers to people while they address the blight of the apartment complexes.
Well, I'm looking around and saying to myself, it's funny how we pick and choose what fight we're going to have. And before I say that there's going to be a renaissance in an area that has more black people, that's bigger than another city, I think they said they can set Lake Charles in it. It looks like to me we would start at homes first, and the homes are not the only brick and mortar homes. I'm also talking about these places where folks are in multi-apartment complex, and these apartment complex are trash. There is not a 5-star apartment complex, a 4-star apartment complex out there. If it is, I apologize, but tell me where it is.
There's none. And it's really sad because people deserve better. I mean, in that particular case, I had a veteran who was a quadriplegic, whose wife was taking care of him. They had to put a kiddie pool in their apartment to catch the water. Every time a second floor apartment flushed the toilet, they had literal feces running down their walls. Our elderly, our infirm, our veterans, our most vulnerable residents who are on Section 8 deserve better.
I'd say so. I would say not only do they deserve better, but should be the model of how to do this and do this right. It seems to me that they always get left behind. Or
By
they
design,
get left out.
Gerard. It's
or
by
they get left out.
design. Look, it's by design. We
But
saw
you know
it
what?
with Hurricane Katrina.
But throw this into the mix, though. Let's throw this into the mix. I want you to answer this one. Even if, and this is just for example, even if you're not worried about those folks, how come the folks that are supposedly running these places of trash, of squalor, are rich? They rich. And we're not getting them to do nothing except collect checks. Nothing.
But I told you that the man who owned the 5 apartment complexes in the East, in my case, gave his deposition from aboard his yacht sailing in New York Harbor. He was bobbing up and down in the video from his yacht, completely unbothered.
This is stupid. And sometimes I think we can be our own worst enemy. To not enforce something that could be easily fixed. It's called an investment. Your investment is what it's worth. So these guys are operating on what they're worth now. But what do we do to improve it? And then when they complain, the folks that live there complain, they get evicted.
Yes, they do. So it's a systematic system of eviction. When you file a complaint or you get your unit tested for elevated mold, then they are evicted. Retaliatory evictions are very common in this kind of situation.
Mm-hmm. So I'm talking to my friends. A lot of them have already agreed to be a part of the conversation. And I know it's coming Monday. This is outrageous that we're even having this conversation now. That we're talking about homes to a lot of folks, not brick and mortar homes as y'all got yards and stuff, but I'm talking about homes that these people call home because it's their apartment. And they're fighting to at least have running water with pipes that aren't rusting.
Well, that's the problem, though. Look, I had expert reports done on this. Mm-hmm. And the apartment complexes in New Orleans East, for the most part, were built in the 1980s. And the pipes that were being used back then have now eroded due to subsidence, due to age. And now we have huge breaks in the pipes, which is causing water intrusion issues in all of the apartment complexes and the buildings to settle and break apart from their foundation. That is why the experts in my Laguna Run case, it was called Joshua Keem et al. In that case, that's why the experts opined that the buildings needed to be leveled to the ground and rebuilt because they were unlivable. So that's kind of where we are. You can't, it's like putting lipstick on a pig to renovate some of these apartment complexes in New Orleans East.
Some of them need to be raised.
They need to be leveled and start over.
Yeah, raised.
Just like we're doing renovations of public housing developments throughout the city, those properties also need new life.
All right, we'll take the break here. We'll take the break. We'll come back, have some more conversation, and wrap up for the weekend, y'all. And get you ready, because I got a big announcement that we're going to make. Yeah. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
AURN News.
A federal judge has dealt another step back to the Trump administration's effort to obtain state voter registration records. A U.S. District Attorney judge in New Jersey dismissed the Justice Department's lawsuit seeking the state's unredacted voter registration database, ruling that federal law does not give the DOJ the authority to force New Jersey to turn over that information. The Justice Department argued it needed the records, including driver's license numbers and the last 4 digits of Social Security numbers, to investigate whether New Jersey was properly maintaining its voter rolls under federal election laws. But state officials refused, saying the request raised serious privacy concerns and exceeded the government's legal authority. The judge agreed with New Jersey, finding that Civil Rights Act of 1960 applies to records submitted by voters during registration, not to a state's computerized voter registration database, which election officials continuously update and maintain. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time. Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
This is Andronika Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Life Care provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call Life Care at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
WBOK.
Better pay attention.
Powered by Cox Business.
Here we go.
The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Before we get ready to get out of here and finish up, some great stuff happening this weekend. One of our very own, Stacey Yates, on the phone with us. Hey, Miss Stacey. Yeah, Miss Stacey. Hello, Miss Stacey. Is she there?
All right. Well, I will just say that Stacey's having a school supply drive that she and Danielle Sanders of Danielle, the event planner, are holding in Hammond this weekend. It is the second annual back to school giveaway, Sunday, August 2nd, 2026, from 2 to 4 p.m., assisting students of all ages with a variety of supplies such as backpacks, notebooks, pencils, and more. It'll be at the Boulevard Event Center, 1242 South Morrison Boulevard in Hammond, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of folks may not be able to hear us in Hammond, but they got kinfolk in.
Absolutely. So
Hammond.
Please spread the word for a worthy cause to help the children in that Hammond area.
And as we get ready to go back to school, that's important.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of folks right now are trying to figure out, what kind of food they can buy on a budget, and how they're gonna get these different things for school with it going back in. Everybody on a budget, balling on a budget. So that's what everybody seems to be doing right now, and that's how we can help out.
Absolutely.
That's how we can help out now. Is she back with us? She is. She is back with us. So, okay, she's there. Hey, Stacy.
Hey.
What's going on? Congratulations. I know you're doing all these different things, and everybody talking about why she doing it over in Hammond. I said we got kin folks in Hammond.
Yes, we do. I actually got Danielle on the line as well, who is also sponsoring the event.
Oh, hey, Danielle.
So tell us a little bit about the event. What time? Where is
Hello.
it? Hello. What can people expect?
Well, they can expect a grand time for sure. We're definitely going to have music, free food for all of the children, along with their, families. Of course, supplies. Stacy wanted to do this event each year, and we got together. And we're just partnering together each year to make sure that this event be able to help the communities that we live in and that we grew up in, yet that we serve, and just be able to give back. That's really what it's all about.
Okay. So what do y'all
And
do?
we also have we will also have face painting for the kids, and we would have someone there painting nails for the little girls to get them ready for their first day of school.
So if I come out, I can get my face painted?
Sure, Gerard. You sure can.
Yes.
So the event is
yes.
The event is Sunday, August 2nd, 2026, from 2 to 4 p.m. The address is the Boulevard Event Center, 1242 South Morrison Boulevard in Hammond, Louisiana. And supplies will be given until they run out.
Yes.
All right. Great job,
Well,
ladies. Proud of y'all.
I hope everyone comes out. And if you would like to volunteer, there's still time to donate. If you would like to donate, you can reach out to me on Facebook. Just DM me. Of course, my handle is Stacey Yates. But other than that, we hope to see everyone there. We love the support, and thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Very good, y'all.
All right.
Congratulations.
All
Again,
right.
and
Yes,
what time are we
hope to
talking
see y'all
about?
there.
Now, what time again?
2 to
tell
4.
us 2 to 4. And the location is where?
The Boulevard Event Center in Hammond, Louisiana.
Okay. Very good, ladies. Thank y'all much.
All right.
All right.
And for
Thank
those of you who
Alrighty.
do
Thank
not
you.
know, all of the hard work that goes on at my office is done by Stacey Yates. She is my senior litigation paralegal, and Stacey is entering into her last year of law school. So you all will see her in the courtroom, in a courtroom near you, on a television near you, fighting the good fight. So this is her way of giving back, because we do believe that to whom much is given, much is required.
I'm going.
Good for you. I
Yeah,
will
you
be
be out
in
of
Houston.
town. Yeah,
Yes,
you'll be out of
I'm going to see my baby, y'all.
So
my
as
baby's being dedicated this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell us what we can expect from you this weekend.
Oh, for me this weekend, I'm
Yeah.
going to spend time with my baby. My baby, Christian Laurence White, is being dedicated at church this weekend. So we will be headed out that way.
So the dedication, Christian is getting christening.
Christian is being dedicated in his church. There's a difference. Christening happens later in the Baptist church when kids can make that decision for themselves. He's
Okay.
being dedicated. So we are looking forward to that. He's such a sweet baby, and I always look forward to spending time with family.
Oh, that's good. And that's in Houston.
That's in Houston.
Okay. All right. So you're going to be on the road.
I will be on the road.
All right. So Monday, we're going to expose some of this stuff that is coming out. More than likely, what you'll probably hear is a lot of the folks that are the recipients of all of this sludge will be calling in and telling us what's going on. And the place will be exposed at that time, too, because I don't want nobody going out there and trying to get
no idea what he's talking about.
I'ma
So
tell
I'm going
you
to be as
later.
surprised as y'all.
I'm going to tell you. And you actually will be surprised.
I will be as surprised as y'all on Monday.
And It was one of those things that made me go, what? You got to be kidding me, until I saw it. And then it made me go, wow, it's not being taken care of. And I'm trying to figure out why these places are not being taken care of, why they are allowed to just slip into the epitome of what you don't want to live in, and we're not trying to fix it.
Poor regulation. Poor regulation.
Do you think that's the regulation of HUD or HANO, or do you think that's the regulation of the city council?
It's a combination.
Or the leadership.
It is poor regulation by HANO, and it is poor regulation by the city in terms of code enforcement and in permitting of these various entities.
Well, Monday, y'all make sure you tell somebody to pay attention, because we'll go over it on Monday from 4 to 6. Other than that, we can ready to get up out of here. I know it's about a couple of minutes beforehand. You got something else you want to talk about?
Well, no, I just want to thank all our guests, our callers, and each of you for spending part of your afternoon with us. You know, every week our goal is simple: to have honest conversations, ask thoughtful questions, and shine a light on the issues that matter the most to our community. As you head into your weekend, spend time with your family, support a local business, attend a community event, check on a neighbor, mentor a young person, and remember that real change doesn't just happen here on this radio station. It happens when you get out there and make it happen.
And look, I know that we hit some pretty strong stuff this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday, I think, took a lot out of me, being at the office and seeing the folks that had to deal with their loved one and the cremations and all this other stuff. I'm going to tell you all now, watch the news probably tonight. I think it's at 6 or 10.
I think I'm on 2 stations tonight. I think I'm on one station talking about the grand jury, and I'm on another station with our clients talking about the New Orleans cremation services debacle.
Well, at 6 o'clock, I think that's going to come on this evening. You're on channel 26 for 5. So we forgot to turn it on. So that's that. All right, y'all. We will see you on Monday. Whatever you do safely, carefully is the way we want you to do it. And that's going to wrap things up for us on a Friday. Y'all be safe this weekend. Don't be out there running around in the heat and thinking you young and having a heat stroke. And watch out for the other guy here. Have a great weekend.
shake down, stand it to the take down. Hollywood's a fake down. Give me a break. This is it, the showdown. Tell me what's the lowdown. Be there for the shakedown or beware. Shut your eyes and try to see. Do you with me? There's danger here if you fool with me. Oh, fake it out before you stop. Toward my heart. Don't get me wrong, oh babe, you won't get me. I hope I make myself clear. The heat is on. You'll lose it, you bet me. That I believe you're sincere. The gig is up. Now nothing can help you. The truth is gonna come out. Ooh, I interrupt your usual intro. There is fair play and turnabout. Watch out, it's a shakedown. Stand it to the takedown. Hollywood's a fake down. Give me a break. This is it, the showdown. Tell me what's the lowdown. Be there for the shakedown. Or be swayed. Shakedown. 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 Shakedown.
Have you heard the secret of what New Orleans is talking about? I promise everything will be okay if you're listening here on the airwaves. It's that WBOK 12:30 a.m.
From the campus of Xavier University. WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind when I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us.